In this video, I want to show you video editing inside of Pictory. That is going to take place right here under the visual tab. So in the previous video, we looked at the stories tab and basically getting to this point. Now with the visuals tab, everything that is auto-selected for us, for example, the scene, it says, welcome to a brief overview of large language models. Especially focusing on ChatGPT, it basically found a clip automatically that someone recorded from this other platform called Storyblocks, which they have a partnership with. So the Storyblocks watermark will go away once you go ahead and export this. But all you have to do is select this scene, go to visuals, and under the library tab, you could choose different options to replace this clip. So if I choose this one, for example, or this one, you see how it's replacing that. So if I want the desktop version instead of the mobile version of ChatGPT, it's just replaced it just like that. I clicked here. If I want to go back, I'll just click. It's really simple. It's edited it based on the time of that scene, which is based on my script, and it's done. I chose a new clip now. This is going to be in my final video. I could go to scene 2. So with this selected, the second scene, right? That was the first scene. This is the second scene. I'll go to visuals over here again, which is the tab I'm on. So I could just select any one of these to see what it looks like. It's going to have a real-time preview. So that's pretty good actually. Or I could just decide to search for something. So if I see a word here, so understanding maybe is the word that is highlighting. Let me see what kind of video clips I could get for understanding. So you could always search manually. So then I could go through this and see if there's anything in the world of understanding how it works. This is kind of a cool graphic. How does it work? Okay, so maybe I choose that instead, and that's going to be my video. I'm going to show you how to work with captions because these are completely movable per scene. So depending on what your video background is, sometimes you may want to bring this down. You could always break it up too to be less text across multiple different scenes. I'll show you that in a bit here too. So I'm under the library tab here. You also have textures to choose from. So all kinds of different textures like solid colors could be your background as well. So if I choose, let's say this one, for example, this could be my background and this has no type of animation to it, right? In most cases, if you're creating a video, it makes sense to choose the videos under the library tab like this here. You also could search by type and choose images too. They have a massive image library, so it doesn't always have to be video, especially when you have this animated caption. So you could choose an image here to be as part of your background here as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and undo that. I did like that video. So this is the option over here to undo if you want to revert back one step. And you could have your uploads over here too. So anything from your computer you could drag and drop. So that could be a video file. So you could be in the background. For example, if you record yourself like this, you could put yourself in this app too, or any image you choose. You could use other websites. So I'll show you one, for example, that we use. So this one called Envato Elements, for example, has a whole lot of stock videos. So if you don't find them in Pictory, which uses Storyblocks, this is basically another platform where you could go ahead and download these and upload them. This one requires a different subscription though, but this has all kinds of different things from stock video to sound effects, music, pictures, all kinds of different things you could get from here. Pictory does have all that too. I'm just saying if you have a hard time finding one, this is another paid subscription that has some quality content if you're making videos at a higher level and you can't quite find them here. So you could just download those and upload them here. Your recent and your favorites will show up over here. So this was one of the recent ones that I could just click and go put over here. And this one right here, I could go ahead and favorite it. So if I go to my favorite section, all my favorite clips could be over here if I'm making similar type of content. So that's the brief overview of the visual tabs. Basically all kinds of images, all kinds of videos in different categories. You could search by categories. You could search here using words here. And basically some of the other things I wanted to cover in this video are these editing options that you have where you could trim the video. So this trim the scissors option lets you trim the beginning and the end. So if I just drag this over, it's gonna cut out the beginning part of my video and this cuts out the end of my video as soon as I press the check mark. Another way you could edit is you could select individual scenes here, and with individual scenes you could remove them with the garbage can. So if I didn't want, for example, the second scene or this third scene, what I could do is select it and I could press the garbage can and delete that scene. And the other option you have is you could just go back to the Stories tab and look at the script and select any scene you want to delete from here. So if you just read the text and you're like, okay, this doesn't make sense, let me select it and press the garbage can. So you don't have to visually do it. You could do it based on the text as well. And remember, if you make a mistake, just press undo here and it's gonna bring that scene back, which is a really nice touch here inside of Pictory. And I should mention, it does auto-save, by the way, every time. So you don't have to worry about losing your progress as you make progress here in your edits. And your intro, which is this scene. And if I go here, the outro scene, they have a little eyeball on top. So you could go ahead and activate them. And they have a nice animation here, typically, depending on what template you chose. But you could go ahead and change that. So you could upload your own logo. I'll talk about branding a bit. So that took us to the branding tab, where we could change basically what different things like your intro or adding your logo look like. But back for editing, let me go to Story, because you have this other option for editing, which is you could just go ahead and remove just a few words. So I could just delete this and it'll take out that sentence. And now my scene 4, you see just the caption just changed. The background's the same. And I'm gonna grab it and put it down here so it doesn't cover the robot. Very simple to do any type of editing you want. You could take out entire scenes, select in scene garbage can, take out individual words. And sometimes, for example, I noticed this scene, that is far too much text, especially for the length of the scene. So by the way, the scene duration is right here. So this is a 12-second scene. I could go ahead and trim this down if I want to be on screen even less. So in this case, I changed it to 5 seconds just by typing in 5. And I could apply it to all scenes, meaning it'll make all the scenes the same length, which doesn't make sense right now. It's based on how much text is on screen. But what I could do is I could split the scene. You see this option? So I could go maybe over here, understanding, split the scene. And right from the point where my cursor was, now I have 2 scenes. So I have scene 2, this becomes scene 3. It has the same background, so I need to go to the visual tab, select the background, and I need to find something different. Let me look up ChatGPT. Maybe I want a different type of background. And let me choose videos, and I'll choose this one instead for that new scene. And I recommend you do this in the very beginning so you don't have to worry about basically doing this. I would recommend just going through all the different scripts, anything that needs to be split here. You could go ahead and put your cursor anywhere here and split that scene. It's gonna carry over with the same video clip in the background, but that is one way to split the screen here. So I'm gonna disable the intro, we don't want that. So now we got our scenes here laid out. Now another thing I could do is, you see these plus signs over here? So if you wanted to add, for example, something after a scene, something that was missing, you could go ahead and do that. It could just be a blank scene, scene with text, visuals only without text, or both. So all these have both. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Add a new scene here. So you can see now it goes from scene 1 to scene 2. There's no text here. So let me go back to Story and it's blank. So if I wanted to type my own text here, type your own text here, and then that becomes your new scene, and it's gonna try to find visuals for it just like that. So that's a really great way to add more to your existing content as well. And everything is fully editable. Type your own text. They found someone typing text on a laptop. I'm gonna select this one, delete it. We don't need it, but that's what this plus sign to insert a scene after, and this lets you insert a scene before. We're gonna talk about this middle thing called transition here, which basically changes how it goes from one scene to another, coming up in the next video.